Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty, and today we're making another floral repeat pattern together in Procreate. This is part of my 6-part series where we're mixing the pattern maker canvas and my trailing floral templates from Etsy to create some beautiful designs that use both of those. I've also made a set of free goodies, a floral stamp brush set, colourful palettes and a gold texture, and you can get that as a free add-on in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit. We'll be working with the diamond method, and since we're using floral templates, which are more of an intermediate level, if you are brand new and you've never used these before and you want a more beginner-friendly introduction, I've got a link for that below in the description, as we'll be going a bit more fast-paced today. If you don't have the Pattern Maker canvas or the templates yet, don't worry. Grab the free sample template from the toolkit and try making your own rough diamond sketch guide using a 3600 pixel canvas. Okay, so let's start by bringing in the floral template first. We're going to go to import from the gallery screen, and it is trailing floral template 4 that we're going to use this time. And you will see a blank white screen to start with. You need to go to the sketch, turn that on, and then you'll see the template. The reason I save it like this is because it takes up less file space. File size is smaller if you save it with the illustration hidden and just white showing. So we go here, tap on the sketch diamond layer here that's got the template on it, tap on that and tap copy. Then we can come out into the gallery and bring in our pattern maker canvas. So import again, and it's this one here, and it's the pattern maker canvas updated I'm going to use. And then in this one, close that top group, and in the layers folder, open up the sketch folder, tap on this one at the bottom, swipe down with 3 fingers and paste, and then that will put your template in there for you. So we're going to start on the draw here first layer, which is an empty one, and we're going to go to our Florals 2.0 brush set. This one is a free add-on in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit, and we're going to use the one number 4 there because we're working on canvas number 4. And all I'm going to do is stamp that in each of these black circles. And I think this should be the right size. Let's make sure I've got the right palette here. Obviously it doesn't matter what colour you use for the sketch, but I'll get started with the right colour. And just stamp this into the circles here, and this size is 23%. And I'm just going to stamp one of these onto each of the black circles. So the next job is to get these in their positions on the outside of the canvas in the blue circles. So we pinch to merge that down with the sketch diamond. So now that's all on one layer, and we can duplicate this, tap transform, make sure snapping and magnetics are on and that distance and velocity are all the way up, and then snap this halfway down and halfway across until you see those orange lines there. Then we're going to duplicate the bottom one again and do the same up into this corner, and then duplicate the bottom one again, snap this up into that corner, and you'll see these flowers are starting to fill the spots around the outside. So everything we draw on this black is what's going to fill the area around the outside in blue. Duplicate one last time and transform that down into this corner here. Then those top 4 you can pinch to merge together, tap on that and invert the colours so you can see which ones we'll be drawing and which ones will be made by duplicating. Because I've got the leaves and stems all marked out with this template, I'm not going to do anything else in the sketch folder, but if you wanted to change the positions of things, then this would be the time to test out the layout for that and do this in the sketch folder. But I'm going to go straight into the pattern group now. So we'll turn that on, open that up, tap on this layer here, and this is a trailing floral template, which means we have things crossing over the edge of our diamond pattern tile here and meeting up with themselves again. So this line here meets up with there, which then meets up with itself down there. So this is the bit we have to put in first. So I'm going to grab this nice greeny brown colour, and from the drawing set I'm going to grab the tracing crayon, and I'll use this brush I think. So for this one I'm going to start up here, curve it down and down to there. and try and stick to the dotted line as closely as I can. And then that bit there is going to match up with there, hopefully. We're going to draw a line across each of these opposite corners so that we can grab the whole layer. I'm going to duplicate it, tap transform, and I'm going to bring this down to there. Snap it into the corner there. And then we can see how this will match up there. And that kind of looks okay, where I've managed to keep close enough to the dotted lines. If yours was looking a bit wobbly and it didn't look like it was merged in properly, you need to grab the eraser, make sure you are on this layer, erase some of that back, grab your brush again, and then just redraw it and merge it back in with that line there. There we go, and then this line will now continue perfectly throughout your pattern. Once that one's in, you can delete the top one, leave these marks in because we'll be using those later to build out the tile, and then you can just carry on tracing over all the stems. Anything that's in black and a stem, draw it on this layer. When you're using these templates, the leaves and the flowers can be any shape you like. You don't have to stick to this specific layout. I'm just going with simple teardrop shapes here because it's quicker for the tutorial. But you can make them as complicated as you like. And while we're on the subject of making it your own, you might be wondering, can you use these patterns commercially and sell them? And the answer is yes, you can sell derivative works that you create. Just make sure they're a little different from mine by using your own spin, and remember they can't be licensed exclusively if you're using the same motifs or perhaps even the same layout, because there will be other artists that have used these as well. But also, don't forget that not everything you make has to be used as something that you're going to sell or share online. Often I use these patterns as a warm-up for getting started onto something else. Like when I start drawing first thing in the morning, sometimes my hand is a bit wobbly and shaky if I've just had a coffee especially, and doing these nice smooth lines here, tracing them like this, just helps me get my hand warmed up for a bit of drawing for the rest of the day. And they're also fun to sit down and relax with at the end of the day. There's nothing as soothing as like tracing, kind of like using a colouring book, just for some mindful tracing. So yes, you can use these commercially if you make your own versions of the patterns that look different enough from mine, but also don't limit yourself to only making stuff that you're going to sell. These are fun to use as a relaxing hobby too. So now I've done that, I'm going to fill in these shapes. Then I'm going to add a layer and we'll draw the middles of the flowers in. I'm going to use this light peach colour for that. And although this one has a blue stem going into it, the flower circle itself is black, so this is one we will do on this layer. And I'm going to make these perfect circles by drawing round, holding, and then tapping, and it will snap to a perfect circle. Then I'm going to add a layer underneath and do the flower petals in. And I will first of all draw these in pink, but we'll change the colour up slightly once we've drawn them. Make sure you close these up underneath so that you can colour drop them, and we could actually make the blend mode on this linear burn so we can see through these. Then we're going to add some details in gold, and to do that I'm going to add a layer above all of this. I'm going to bring it in, so we go to add, insert a photo, because that's where I have this saved, and it's this gold texture here, and you can get this as a free add-on in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit. And I'm going to add a layer underneath it, tap on this layer, clip it down, and then anything we draw on this layer is going to come out in this gorgeous gold. So I think I'll use the line details brush for this, and I'm going to make the blend mode on this one linear burn as well so we can see through, and make sure I'm on the right layer. and just add these line work details in gold. I'm also going to put some little lines going down the middles of these leaves like this. And then last of all, I'm going to use my mini dot brush and I think I'll turn the blend mode off these, so we'll just put these back to normal. I'm going to just draw some freehand dots on these, so it'll be easier if I can't see through those. I'm just going to do some dots in the middles of these flowers like that. Then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and just do some extra dots in around the outside of the pattern. And then there's one last thing to do. I said we were going to switch up the colours of the petals, so this layer here, I'm going to alpha lock it by swiping right with 2 fingers. Then I'm going to go to my Summer Icons brush set, which you can find in the Pattern Makers Toolkit for free. I'm going to grab this colour changer brush. Need to go to the disc view, and my primary colour is going to be this pink one, and my secondary colour I'm going to set to peach. And then I'm going to use this brush to scribble over these petals, making sure I go over the whole thing, and it's going to vary the colour of them and make it land somewhere in between this colour and the pink that I already used. You can leave the pink colour if you want some of them to be that pure pink, and then if the colour that you draw comes out kind of the same, you can just go over it again until you get a different kind of colour, and just keep scribbling over those until you have a mix that you like. Try and think about the placement of where they'll be. So this one is going to be repeated down there, so it might be nicer if that one was more of a pinky colour. So we could just keep going with this until we get a pinky colour that we like, and I think that's probably, I quite like that mix and that layout there. So that is all we have to do for this pattern. This one is a nice quick and easy one. We can now build out the pattern tile for this. So I'm going to hide the pattern marker, collapse this group, duplicate it and tap flatten. Then bring this up and out of the layers group, and we can turn all of that off now. Then I'm going to duplicate this layer, tap transform, and just like we did with the sketch layer, I'm going to snap this down into that corner there. And you'll see these stems come above the flowers that we drew, so this one needs dragging down underneath. Then we go back to this one again, duplicate, tap transform, and bring it over into this corner. This one is fine to be on top. Then duplicate again and snap it over into this corner. And again, all of those flowers are okay there. Duplicate, tap transform, and bring it down into this corner. Sure if that one went in the right place there, did it? I'm going to delete that because I'm not sure if I moved it as I snapped it the last time. There we go. And then we need to rub out these bits. The top 3 can be pinched together, so you should have this one, and this one on the top. You can pinch those together and erase those marks, and then on the bottom you should have this one, and on the middle one you're going to need to rub those back off the corners. Then you can pinch all 3 of those together. And I'm going to change the background colour, although I love it on this pink as well. I am going to change the background colour to this dark blue because I love that even more. Then we need to test the pattern tile and make sure there's no gaps or errors in it. So swipe down with 3 fingers, copy all, come right up to the top here, add a layer, and I'm going to fill it with white because that will contrast with this dark background. So fill layer, then swipe down with 3 fingers and paste. Then we can bring this node up and snap it into the middle there, duplicate, bring that over there, and then zoom into the middle here and just show and hide that one so you can pan up and down the seam. If there was any gaps or problems with the edges, you would see a white line, and that was because you get a semi-transparent edge and this white would show through. So that's all looking okay. You can pinch those together. Duplicate, tap transform again. Bring this one down to the bottom. And again, just pan along this edge. Make sure that's all looking okay. And then you can pinch those together. And that is this gorgeous coloured pattern in repeat. Don't forget you can get the free resources from the Pattern Makers Toolkit to finish this, the stamp brushes and the colour palette and gold texture. And Pattern Maker members also get 10% off in my Etsy store. The Pattern Makers Toolkit is kind of like a free Patreon. You'll get a monthly email with creative prompts, seasonal colour palettes, early access to some of my YouTube videos, 10% off in my Etsy store, and a full library of free pattern making resources. It's just one email a month, no spam, and just goodies to help you stay creative. If you want a deeper dive into surface pattern design, you can learn even more with my surface pattern design classes on Skillshare, and use the link below for a free month if you're new. Finally, don't forget to subscribe for more weekly creative videos. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you soon.